profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. Today is Tech Friday, so we are doing all kind of new techie things. We hope that you are also aware that we are on YouTube right now, as well as on Facebook. My co-host, Ms. Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva, will be joining us shortly with Today in Tech. We want you to know that we care about your business and we want to give you tools that will help you market yourself and promote your business in a way that's user friendly and customer driven. So today we're going to be talking tech, and we also will be joined by our Friday co-host, Terry Johnson, all the way from New York City, because attention is necessary. And she focuses on Twitter and other social media outlets. So we hope that you'll find something of value in today's program that you can apply easily and quickly. How you doing today?
I am well. I am well.
Good. I guess I should tell people who I am, huh?
Yes, and this is Terralina Austin from California Cover Ups. She provides garments for leading ladies, first ladies, and women who mean business, and just some all around nice cover ups if you ever looking for, maybe you needed something and you're just quite not sure what to put on. You need to get a California cover up.
There you go. That's a fashion solution. It definitely
really is.
Question what to wear.
Oh, it really does, and it's an easy solution. Mm-hmm. Okay, so every Friday we start with This Day in Tech History, and there's a couple of things in here I was like, oh, very interesting. And as always, I get this from This Day in Tech History. I do a whole week's worth because we are only with you once a week. So August 18th, 1947, Hewlett-Packard is incorporated by William Hewlett and David Packard 9 years after they sold their first products from their garage in Palo Alto. That seems to be a trend. Okay. Hewlett and Packard got their start in 1938 by producing oscillators used to test audio equipment. Since selling 8 of their first oscillators to Disney for use in preparing movie theaters for the movie Fantasia, HP has grown to one of the largest technology companies in the world. Who knew? Wow. I guess that means that whatever you're working on, don't quit.
Wow.
Just don't quit. August 19th, 2004, Google holds its initial public offering. That's an IPO, selling over 22 million shares at a starting price of $85 per share. Google shares closed that day at $100.34, and the IPO created many instant millionaires and a few billionaires.
Wow.
Hey, TJ. I'm like,
Wow.
Don't quit.
Don't quit.
August 20th, 1911, the New York Times sends a telegram message to test how far a commercial message could be sent around the world. Reading simply, the message sent around the world. It left at 7 p.m., traveled over 28,000 miles, and was relayed by 16 different operators. It arrived back at the Times only 16.5 minutes later. The building where the message originated is now called 1 Times Square and is best known for where the ball drops on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
It's the first commercial telegram sent around the world. Okay. Let's see, August 21st, 1993, NASA loses contact with the Mars Observer spacecraft 3 days before it was to enter into orbit around Mars. The reason for the loss of contact was never definitely determined, but the most probable cause was a rupture of a fuel tank. August 22nd, 1987, The Legend of Zelda is released for the NES in North America. That's the Nintendo game system, I do believe. Considered one of the most influential games of all times, it was the forerunner of the role-playing video game genre and spawned one of the most successful series in video games history. August 23rd, 2002, Apple releases Mac OS 10.2, codenamed Jaguar, for the first time. The Happy Mac icon is not a part of the Mac operating system startup process. It is replaced instead by the gray Apple logo that is still in use today. Interesting. Oh, the little happy face that we get. You know what I mean? You know, the little face that's on the thing. So the face is not there anymore. The logo replaced it. The Apple logo replaced it. Apple publicly used the code name Jaguar to reference the operating system, and for marketing purpose, all Mac OS releases since Jaguar have been referred to by its Big Cat themed code name. From the writer's perspective, it was the first OS 10 release that was truly usable. The previous releases felt more like transitional stages. Okay, that's his opinion there. August 24th, 1993, perhaps the most famous lawsuit in tech history is decided for Microsoft. Apple claimed that Microsoft Windows violated their copyrights on the visual displays of the Macintosh. The judge in the case rules that most of the claims were covered by a 1985 licensing agreement. Other claims were not violations due to the merger doctrine, which basically states that the ideas cannot be copyrighted. This paves the way for Microsoft to develop Windows 95, which imitated the Macintosh even more so than previous versions of Windows. August 24th. Huh?
I'm surprised they won that, but okay.
August, because they had some agreements already in place, so you can't argue when you already had them in place. August 24th, 1995, Windows 95 is released, kicking off one of the largest product launches in technology history. Microsoft releases the highly anticipated Windows 95. More than 1 million copies will be sold in the first 4 days of its release. And I believe this is my final story today. August 24th, 2011, Steve Jobs resigns. Was that 2011? Hold on. Yeah. I don't know why I think that date is wrong. But anyway, Steve Jobs resigns as Apple CEO. Apple CEO Steve Jobs resigns amid rumors of failing health. Jobs passes away 43 days later on October 5th, 2011. Yes, now that makes sense because I thought it was the first time.
Yes.
This was the second time. And that is your week in tech history.
Right. It was because he was ill. So, you know, it has to do with business and corporation and laws and
yes,
like that. So he resigned.
Correct. And I thought, I was like, wait, this was the second or the first time he was relieved.
Well, the first time he was forced out.
Right.
Yes. And the second time was because, you know, he was ill. And give the reins over to Tim Cook.
Correct. So, what's happening in the world of social media?
Well, it's been pretty quiet. Surprisingly. Yeah, well, you know, it's August. It's like the last 2 weeks of August. So, pretty much everything corporate-wise, especially in New York, kind of dies because everybody takes those 2 weeks of vacation. And so, I really don't expect anything until maybe like the end of August, started September 1st to hear any news, you know, like big news. But thankfully, Instagram has slowed down there. You know, it was like every day something was coming out. So it makes it confusing when you're trying to talk about stuff or you know, do things on it because they just hit you with the update. So I'm glad this is a slow period for everything,
right?
Business wise. So
Yes.
The only thing that I heard talk about is Facebook closed several accounts because of this fake news, political stuff with the political ads. I think it was out some Iranian-based accounts. Twitter did also. Yeah. So these social media platforms, especially Facebook, and also they announced that they are starting some kind of rating service for reputation. I posted it on my page, right? So they're starting some kind of scale system. You'll be rated from 0 to 1 as far as credibility. So they're trying out these tools to make people feel more comfortable about the information they see on Facebook, which is a good step.
It kind of reminds me of Uber, because you get stars as a passenger, just like the driver gets stars.
Right. And so they're starting a rating system, so you'll know, so you don't have to wonder, is this fake? Is this fake news?
And so they will determine. They will measure.
No, it's not really clear, and they're not letting us know right now because it hasn't happened yet. But I believe it's going to be. They're going to look at your whole history from day one on Facebook.
Okay, I just asked because I heard an attorney on TV the other day talking about the truth is not really the truth, and I'm like, okay.
No, the truth is the truth.
Yeah, okay.
The people will muddy it. There's people that will muddy the truth, but
and
the truth
is called the truth, right?
Yes, the truth will always be the truth. But I think they're going because first of all, let's step back. Facebook, you have to be a real person. And that was one of the things when Facebook first started to get really big, people were upset because they had to put their real name and their real information. But you see why it's necessary. So Facebook is going to look at all of that stuff because what they're doing now with Facebook pages. You have to, if it's a large Facebook page with so many followers, the people that run the page, the admins, have to be real people. They have to authenticate themselves as real people. Like they have to send an ID and everything. So those are large pages. I'm thinking like corporations like Pepsi and stuff like that. So whoever's running those pages, they have to authenticate to Facebook that they are a real person with ID and where they're from. So that's a part of with the Facebook pages. But now they're looking at profiles, which is everybody. And I'm thinking they're going to start from day one when you sign up on Facebook, the things that you posted, the things that you liked, the things that you talked about, is it all true? Or are you a made-up bot person? Like, we've been hearing about the Russian bots that did all this stuff a year ago before the election, and they were running ads and stirring up all this stuff, and they were fake profiles. So they're trying to get rid of that by saying, okay, we're going to start this, this reputation number, and it's going to be on a scale of whatever they decide from 0 to 1, and whatever things that are in there is going to determine. So I'm assuming if you're closer to a 0, your credibility factor is going to be really like
bad.
Because and that's okay. Because
I like it. It's a step, and like I said, it's not gonna fix. Let's stop, because everybody thinks that Facebook can just turn everything around on a dime and make it save, and you feel great. There's a lot of factors that have to come into play. They have to look at a lot of players, a lot of things. So this is one thing they can do to step in the right direction to where you have to have. They're going to check you as far as all of the stuff you posted. From day one, like they can tell, and you say, oh, well, I'm gonna go back and delete stuff. It's in the cloud, baby. So they already got their copy of when you posted something in 2011 or 2009 or whenever you joined Facebook. So all the little stuff that you post and talk about, they're going to look at, and then you have the people that are going to be upset about that. But we always go back to when you started. Sign up for Facebook, there was a list of things that Facebook said that they were going to do, and you agreed to it. So can't get.
Here's the other thing. It speaks to character. Character does what it does consistently. So It'll show up, like you said. It'll come out. What's in your heart is going to eventually come out.
It comes out in a while. So, like, and we always talk about, if you're saying stuff and you don't want the police to, because the police look at Facebook and they look at social media and they see what you post. But if you're a upstanding citizen and you're walking the path of right and wrong, you have nothing to worry about. It's the criminals and those that element that have to worry about the stuff that they're doing online. So if you as a person are posting stuff about your family and, here's somebody had a baby, there's a wedding, there's a family reunion, that stuff is good. That's not anything that's going to incriminate you. So you don't have anything to worry about. So
unless you got a really bad picture at the reunion.
That people worry about them looking at stuff.
Can you Photoshop that?
They worry about the police looking at stuff, but police don't care about your family reunion. They care about these people that put stuff up about guns and drugs and this. They look for that because people do take videos of themselves boasting and bragging about the various things they did, and they put it on social media. You would think, how stupid of a criminal to put that stuff on social media, but they do all the time, and that's how your police department finds criminals like that.
Because they want the fame.
They want the fame, yes.
Okay.
Yes, so that David Bowie song Fame.
And some people are doing anything to get it. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Wow. So you would think it, and when it comes to fame, common sense kind of flies out the window. They go, because I've heard so many news stories of they caught the criminals because they were on Facebook with a video of their boot, the stuff they took.
Or they were live while they were committing the act.
Yeah, like I said, common sense goes out the window because these people aren't too bright anyway. I mean, the ones that are on that level. Mm-hmm. You have criminals that are smart, but you're not going to see them on the news. Then
and they're probably not going to go live during committing.
No. Okay. No. Because that's evidence, and all of us, we know that's evidence. You committed a crime and you're videotaping yourself. That's evidence, baby.
Okay, you might want to tap that down.
No.
I want you to know, though, TJ, that Google says it's rolling out a new Chrome design across all operating systems next month. Let me tap this and see if I can show it to you guys.
Okay.
It's going to look like this. You see that? I know there's glare.
Okay, so that's the black
background.
Oh, okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, we can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it says that they're preparing to release this new Chrome material design refresh next month. The Chrome browser will have a new design across all operating systems, reveals Google in its latest Chrome Enterprise release notes. That new design will debut in the Chrome 69 release, which is currently scheduled to release September the 4th. So when you go to Chrome September the 4th and it's black, it hasn't been hacked, people. Okay? They just changed.
They're probably going to make you update.
Yeah, probably.
So if you can't get where you normally get, you need to update. If stuff is not working.
Okay, now there's a little more. It says Chrome's new desktop design will include a more rounded and wider appearance, but the mobile version of Chrome has been majority redesigned for iOS. Google is moving the navigation controls to the bottom of the screen, making it far easier to use it, with one hand, with an extra tall display. You can already enable some of the changes in the current Chrome 68 release for both desktop and mobile. It says Chrome will also include Windows 10 notification support, touchpad gesture, navigation, Windows 10, and general autofill improvement. So I just wanted y'all to know, if you pull it up and it looks different, okay,
there's a reason for that. And that probably is coinciding with the fact that Apple is coming out with new features for the desktop Mojave, Mojave, and then the iOS 12 is coming out. And I have a list of the new things that's coming out on the 12.
Okay.
It'll be faster and more responsive. This is the iOS 12. Things that you do every day are faster than ever across all more devices. It's been overhauled and improved performance on devices as far back as iPhone 5S and iPad Air. You'll have smoother animations, so you can do things like bring up the control center, swipe while multitasking, or scroll in an app. It's more fluid and more responsive. The apps will be 40% faster launch. So like when you get ready to swipe to get your camera and stuff, it'll move a lot faster. Up to 50% faster keyboard display. 70% faster swipe to the camera. 70%. Okay. 2 times faster share sheet display, meaning if you're having a lot of stuff loading, it'll make it faster even when you got other stuff running.
Oh.
There'll be group FaceTime, which means that you can make FaceTime calls with up to 32 people at a time.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah. So FaceTime audio and video, answer incoming group FaceTime calls with video or audio on the iPhone, iPad, Mac, or join with audio on Apple Watch and HomePod. Wow. So I can be in a conversation with you all from my HomePod. Okay. Just saying. Okay. Ringless notification. Group FaceTime uses a silent notification that participants can join to tap.
Whoa, say that, a silent notification.
Yeah, and so there is silent notifications, and they have that in another part. Like, you know, if you need to get a notification, you can get it silently.
Okay.
Okay.
An emoji. You can use FaceTime with your Animoji. I'm going to go and skip down from that because there's a lot of stuff happening in the picture. Wow. I mean, in the group. Memojis create an all new kind of Animoji that fits your personality and mood. And because I'm working on this thing, let me see if I can pull it up.
I haven't tried the Memoji. Is that actually available? Didn't you guys do a thing on that?
It's not available till the 12th.
Till the 12th. Okay, it was forthcoming. Okay.
Yes, it's forthcoming. However, let's see if I can pull one up. Okay, where's my things at here?
I think we showed some of the new, what do you call it, emojis that they added.
Memojis, yeah, they did, yeah, because they had them on display. Oh, I don't know why those are not working. Just because I want to do something.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know.
So I'm doing that. Let me see. Oh, here we go. I guess I have to actually start the okay, I don't know if you guys can see.
Yeah, we can see. Oh, that's so, look at that.
That looks just like you. I like it. So what did you do?
I do too.
Did you find it already?
I'm doing the beta test.
Oh, okay.
So, which means my phone could do interesting things while I'm doing it.
Notice that? Well, I noticed that because we talk a lot.
Yeah, so the Memoji is cool because you can do stuff like you can put glasses on and do some other stuff. And you can make more than one. So that depending on your mood or whatever. They got 4 new Animojis. They got a T-Rex, a ghost, a koala, and a tiger. You'll now be able to record clips up to 30 seconds, you know, if you're making faces and winking and sticking your tongue out. I'm not understanding why that's a thing, but okay. You can use the camera and messages to capture photos and enhance them with built-in effects and third-party sticker packs. So now you can do like you do on Instagram and put
the stickers.
Right. You can add text effects, shapes, and do all of that. Screen time, now you'll be able to see how much time you've been spending on the phone on your screen.
Okay.
And
that's a big thing now with Instagram ads. So because people want to know when you're using these devices, you lose track of time. And we talked about that when you want to go check Facebook for something business wise, and then you see a post from a family member or something about an event, and then you get lost track of time. So it's a big deal. I expect to see that a lot other places.
Correct. You can set screen time for your kids to keep an eye on how much time they're spending.
Yep.
And you can put limits on the amount of time you and your kids spend each day on specific apps. You can put timers.
Good tool.
Yep. You can set down times, like set a specific time for bed when the apps and the notifications are blocked. Okay. And so that you can just go to sleep. There are some that are always allowed that you can set up, like for education and that type of thing. Notifications, you can get grouped notifications, deliver quietly. Within instant tuning, you can choose to have notifications delivered silently to the notification center by default, so you're not interrupted by alerts.
Okay. Like you're sitting in church taking notes, and here comes these alerts. I'm like,
what? Do not disturb during bedtime. It will dim your display and silence overnight. And then there are new do not disturb options. You can set do not disturb to end automatically in an hour, at the end of the day, or when you leave a certain location. Mm-hmm. Augmented reality, you'll be able to have multi-user experience with the augmented reality. Like you can set artwork on your, depending on the developer, you can put artwork on your wall.
Oh.
There's all kind of stuff with AR, and TJ can talk more about that, but AR is getting really big now. Mm-hmm. You can use your phone or iPad to measure objects and surfaces. Wow. And it will automatically detect the dimensions of a rectangular object. I got to play with that.
Okay, so that's like if you're going to do design, like plan a room or something, you can actually see the dimensions and.
Well, you can actually do dimensions of a box or something that you want to know how big this box is and stuff like that. You can use your phone to.
And some, I forgot what company it was, but you could take a picture of your room, and then you place the objects. Yeah, you place the objects and see how it would look before you order it or whatever. To see how it would look in the room.
Exactly. Design.
And they also have some things for clothing. I think like if you can have a picture of yourself and then put clothes on it. This, like a doll. See how it would look before you buy it.
Yeah, and then there's shortcut apps. Siri's got some new stuff, and this one here, password. It will set passwords for you. Automatic strong passwords. Automatically create, autofill, and store strong passwords in Safari and iOS apps. Passwords are stored in the iCloud chains and are available on all your Apple devices. And if you ever need to access your passwords, just ask Siri.
Oh.
So that. Okay, so then it also has SMS one-time passcodes will appear automatically as autofill suggestions, so you never have to worry about quickly memorizing them or typing them again. I was like, oh, really?
That sounds like a winner.
Yep. And Apple Books is doing some new things. You can currently access your audiobooks. Now, that's not Audible, just audiobooks that you buy. You can access them inside books. PDFs are inside books, and then there's a new collection. Terry, this will interest you. The Stocks app has been redesigned. And you can view prices at a glance in the customizable watch list, tap any ticker to see key details, and interactive chart, and you can learn what's driving the market with the business stories from Apple News. Wow. And Stocks will now be available on the iPad as well as the iPhone.
Oh, okay.
Voice memo is coming to the iPad as well. So before, voice memo wasn't on the iPad. We don't know why. It just wasn't on there. Like a calendar. I mean, it wasn't not the calendar. What was it? The
calculator.
The calculator wasn't on there. I was like,
exactly. It wasn't.
It's like why is it not there?
That's a vital tool.
And it's on on a bigger platform that you would need it on. I just didn't understand that. So anyway, those are some of the things coming up in iOS 12, and that's probably why Google Chrome and other developers of things are all. That's probably why it's quiet, because everybody is making adjustments
trying to catch up
for their stuff to interact with the iOS 12. Because if your app isn't up to date, you'll get a notification. This app is not compatible with this version of blah 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 blah. And they'll say contact your the developer or something, because I've had apps for real estate and the people didn't keep up the
right. They didn't update the code and they didn't update the app. So
correct.
Well, ladies, you just mentioned the fact that you're going to have iBooks, right? So what's going on?
No, we have iBooks.
Books is already there.
iBook is there.
Yeah, they're taking books off, but you can listen to like audio books. There are some books that are audio only. Yes. Like you can create an audio book and put it up in the Apple Books store if you want to. This is not Audible though.
Go ahead.
This is different.
Okay, well, I want you to know that Walmart's latest move to compete with Amazon is a Kobo ebook and audio bookstore. So they're trying to get into the mix with this, guys. Mm-hmm. It says Walmart's latest move to stay competitive with Amazon as the two retailers expand aggressively into new markets is an ebook and audio bookstore with its Japan partner. I can't pronounce that. Which has owned Canadian e-reader Kobo since 2011. Partnered with Walmart back in January to distribute the Kobo e-readers in the U.S. Evidently, now they're going to try to get into the e-book market through this opportunity like Amazon. That should be interesting.
It should be. Amazon is still the #1 bookseller.
There's a long article over here on The Verge. I didn't want to read all of it, but yeah, what were we going to say about Amazon?
No, I'm just saying that they're still the #1 bookseller. It's going to be hard. I don't think people are going to be able to try and beat them, but you can still have a small part of the market. It doesn't, right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And sometimes they were the first to the market to do it. So it's going to be hard to kind of overthrow that. But do you really need to overthrow it?
But do you just need to break off your piece? Because Walmart touches a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not
just break off your piece. I think the era of large, big box, mass retailers and all that is going away. I mean, we see Toys R Us go away. I heard the other day that Sears is closing like 50 stores and they close more stores. And so the idea of big is going away because people want niche products.
People want service.
They want service, but they're focused on one thing. Instead of giving them 100 things, you give them 5 things. They're more likely to buy. The more choices they have, they're going, wait a minute, I don't have enough time to make a decision. I got other things going on. So
right.
Boom, boom, boom.
Well, here's the thing. Walmart's offering this service instead of $14.95, like Amazon. They're offering their audiobooks for $9.95. So maybe that'll help them bite into it. I don't know. But the thing is, as a consumer, once I subscribe to something, it's usually on autopilot for me.
Right. And I was going to say that where Amazon excels is that they have the pipeline that they built. It's already built. So they just, like with the Kindle reader, when you use Kindle, that you buy your books with the net. You don't go outside of that to find the books. You go to Kindle and you read something, and Amazon says, "Oh, you like that title? Well, here's something else," and then you just tap on it, one click, buy it, and that's Amazon's that's their thing, that they have a pipeline built based on when they started selling books. They built that infrastructure. They did it with books, and they said, okay, we're going to move on to products. We're going to move on to groceries and food, and so they move on based on that one thing of the infrastructure of the key to Amazon is they want you to get that Prime membership. That's why when you buy it, you get all of these wonderful things. You get Prime Video, you get Whole Foods. They're adding more stuff onto it. So you buy that Prime membership, and you're in the ecosystem, and they can sell you more stuff. So that's why Amazon's focus is that Prime membership.
The thing I loved about the Prime membership, and still do, is the accessibility to their TV plan. Yeah. It's just fabulous. And you know what? I was reading an article where someone was saying that they are going to unsubscribe from some of these things. Mm-hmm. And I think that's wise. I think, if you have Amazon Prime, do you really need Netflix? Do you really need Hulu? Do you need
I would say you do need Netflix, because Netflix has offerings, and I see them going into specific genres and cultures.
And so because
a lot,
and if that's your niche, you know what I'm saying?
Netflix is into cultures. So there's a gay and lesbian. There's a Black culture. There's a comedian. They're fitting things like that. So I would say definitely the Netflix for the diversity of it. Mm-hmm. But Prime, yes, Prime has something, but they're not
really am enjoying. And I find that I don't use the other subscriptions as much. And so what you can find is that you got all these little boutique things tapping your account after a while. Well, that looks interesting. I'll subscribe to that. It's $3.99. Then this one's $4.99. And before you know it, you got the same cable bill.
Right. But see, with Netflix, you pay that one price, and Netflix has realized that they need to be diverse in their offerings. So there's a lot of stuff there.
So with Netflix does some of their own movies.
Yes.
They
can't.
Are trying to do original stuff.
Yeah, and Hulu is trying to do original. Mm-hmm. Everybody's trying to do original. And so you have to choose what you want. And when speaking of choosing, Terry, remember this?
Oh, yes.
Can you see that?
It's a clothing store?
That's Macy's.
That's Macy's. And it's empty?
No. Do you see all that?
Oh, the clutter.
Oh, you mean the clutter? Yeah.
Okay. So
do you see the owl?
I couldn't see. We were very confused going in the store because there was so many choices. But what you said about limiting choice, and this is Michael Kors store. Now, which one would you rather go to?
Michael Kors.
I can see the stuff. I'm not even concerned that it costs more. Because it's calmer.
The experience was night and day.
And it was an overnight switch for Macy's.
I don't know what they were thinking. I was like,
culture just
Macy's is in trouble. They have been for a while, so their thing is to pile more on. They're still thinking in their own mindset, give them more. But we're in, because of technology and smartphones and social media, we've got more piled onto, so we don't need more when we shop. That's why shopping is becoming so streamlined. Like what you see with the Michael Kors store, they know their customer. They know what they want. Macy's doesn't know. Macy's is not paying attention to what's going on, and they might go the way of Toys R Us. It could happen.
I think they were bought out by American Federation or something. The same people who own JCPenney's, because the culture looked exactly the same.
Pat says they just lost their Macy's. So
see, that's what I'm saying. They could go the way of Toys R Us because they aren't, like you said, the customer experience. They're not listening. And it's not difficult. They could just simply, and I mean the CEO staff, the C-suite, Go down there and look at the store, talk to people, talk to the customer, say, did you find what you wanted? And the customer will say, well, no, I didn't, because these all of these racks and the clutter and this and that. All you have to do is talk to people, find out what they want, and fix it once you find out. They're not doing that.
I think also you should have someone standing outside of the store. So when people go in there and they look and they turn around and walk out,
ask them.
What happened?
Yeah, ask them. Were you looking for something specific and you couldn't find it? And they say, well, and they give you the answer. So the key is what Fran said, the customer experience. They're not listening. They're not listening. So you have a busy life. People have busy lives. They're working. They have kids. They jobs, after school, church, this and that. And then social media and the smartphone in that and entertainment. So you have the business has to fit in all of that, and Macy's is not doing the right thing. They're not doing the right thing by simply listening and asking and talking. And they're not doing that. And they're sitting back going, we're in trouble, we're in trouble, we're in trouble. Throw more stuff at the customer. More choice is not it. You can tell.
Because a confused mind.
Yes.
We're like, we will change the channel.
Shut down. And you can tell that because a few years ago in Brooklyn, when Brooklyn, Brooklyn is now a different animal, but they had artisanal cheese shops, artisanal olive oil shops. It's a shop with olive oil. Can you believe that? It just says olive oil, but olive oil is that market where there are different grades and brands and quality. It's like wine.
Fresh press.
It's like wine. And the people that care about that stuff live in Brooklyn now. So guess what? When they come out of their brownstone, they go past the artisanal cheese shop, the artisanal olive oil shop, and they buy. And that stuff is expensive. They're not going to the grocery store. They're not going to Whole Foods unless, they're near it. But
in California, people take a tour to go to the olive oil factory. They take a tour of the vineyards, and they take it to the.
It's just like wine.
Yes, it's an experience.
It's like wine, and there's people that care about that kind of thing. So you can sit here and go, well, I want to cover everybody. Those days are gone. Macy's, Sears, Toys R Us has discovered mass market, mass retail is going away. It's dying slowly. People want an experience of, I love olive oil, and I'm going to go to this artisanal olive oil store that has from Spain, from Italy, from Portugal, and different brands and grades and cold press and hot press and this press and that press. They know the language. So that's where they're going. You have to pay attention. And these guys
I was stunned when I took the tour of how much there was to know.
It's just like wine.
With this and
see, the people, the experience that they want is what you talked about Tuesday, Terry.
Yeah.
They want the story.
That's what they want.
Why is the olive oil pressed like this, and what can you put it on? You can put it on the bread and mix it with the balsamic and blah 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 blah.
Dip your bread in it, and all that, and get all that. That's where we're going. That's where retail is going, and specialty shop.
It's going back to where it all began.
Yes.
It's going back to the marketplace where you used to go walk down the marketplace, see the butcher. It's coming because it used to be small and niche all the time. And then you remember the local bakery?
Yes. Yeah. The local hardware store. You didn't go to those. You went to the corner store where they had the guy had all of the hardware stuff. And he knew what you needed. When you came in, I need to do X, Y, Z. And he says, well, you need this tool, X, Y, Z. I mean, they do a little bit of that at Lowe's, but it's such a big cavernous space and experience of too many items.
If you can find somebody at Lowe's that will help you, you're doing good. Because you have to go around looking for somebody in an orange apron. I'm like, shouldn't there be somebody that just stays in this? Can you just stay in your aisle, please? Because you walk in and then you're like looking for people and you almost forget why you're in there.
Right. It's too overwhelming. We've got too much stuff already before we even decide to go to the store. And that hardware store, the Lowe's or Home Depot, whatever, it's so much stuff in it. People get overwhelmed, and they, like Terry said, they shut down, and that's it. So the response isn't more stuff like Macy's is overstuffing. Like, give them more. That's just driving them away.
It's terrible. It was terrible, and I got claustrophobic in it. I don't like the way certain people merchandise, and then for them to imitate it, it was just a shock. And it was the holiday season, and we were like, "Oh my God, really?" Stuff was on the floor. You never saw stuff on the floor in Macy's. What is going on here?
Because they're feeling the pressure of sales are down, everything is down, and they're crying, and other people will cry. People aren't buying. Yes, they are. People are shopping for the things that they want. Like I said, artisanal cheese, artisanal oil.
We couldn't find a parking space, people.
And who wants to do that?
Space, can we, friend?
Right. Who wants to do that? Who wants to get in their car and drive somewhere and have that kind of experience when I can stay at home, put my feet up, put Netflix on, use my phone or my tablet and shop?
But Terry, people are shopping.
They are. They're just not shopping with the people that run Macy's and Sears. They're saying that people aren't shopping. No, people aren't getting up out of their comfortable space to go to an uncomfortable space.
Yes. Now, but they are going somewhere in that mall.
Absolutely.
Because that mall is packed, and we're like, okay, so if they're not going to Macy's,
the Apple store,
they're probably the Apple store, and oh wait, they're going to the little boutiques that are in the mall.
The specialty store where there's certain cheese that I can only get. There's a certain cheese that I can only get from Zabar's, and I know if I want to go to Zabar's, which is on the east side in the 80s. I want that cheese, I'm going to go. If I don't want that cheese, I go, hey, I get cheese from the supermarket.
So did you remember Hickory Farms was only in the mall?
Yes, the little kiosk. Yep.
Yeah. Well, they're not in there, but now they might have been okay if they'd have just stuck around, but and not try and go big like Harry and David. You can't get Harry and David in a mall. You have to get them online.
Or out of a catalog.
Correct. And well, the catalog you can't even get unless you go to harryanddavid.com or what's the popcorn? Garrett's popcorn?
Garrett's popcorn.
You can't get that going into the stores. I think they tried that. No, we were in Chicago when the plane line.
They have stores. I remember they opened a store here. I don't know if it's still open.
But I know you couldn't get it just anywhere.
Garrett's still open. I don't know.
But
that's where it's going, a specialty.
Right.
And you have to get on board the train. You cannot do like Macy's and Sears and go, the sky is falling, and then you just stand there running around in circles looking up at the sky going, it's falling. No, you got to say, okay, Sears is a brand that's almost 200 years old. They need to figure out how to get that thing streamlined and get it on.
Here's my question to you, Terry. Is it really rocket science? They began as a catalog company. Why not go back to the internet as a catalog company?
But you have to, this goes back to corporate structure and people who are in charge. If the people in charge, all decision makers are 80 years old, they don't understand the internet. They think it's something, and you hear it all the time, they think it's something the kids do. That you got to get the kids
and that you can actually regulate it.
Right. You got to get the kids in those darn devices. No, that's the future, baby. That's the future. And if you don't pay attention and adjust accordingly, you're going to get steamrolled. And you can sit there and go, we're a 180-year-old company or whatever, however old Sears is. You can't.
But like I said, it began as a catalog company.
Right.
Started door to door, then it went catalog.
Right.
They begin to gather items from different people, and where you could come to Sears and get your pants, your jacket, your da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Sears used to be one-stop shopping. It used to be that Christmas catalog. When you got it, it was a special event. But that's years ago. You have to follow how people shop, and how you follow people shop, how people shop, when you pay attention. You look at the news, you look at what's going on. You see Amazon growing into this big, gigantic thing that's going to steamroll everybody. So you have to say, I don't want to be steamrolled. Let's save this old brand. It can be saved. Just figure out how. But you need fresh ideas and fresh eyes, and they don't want that.
I saw an article, I have to find it, where they were trying to do something where it was like a digital kiosk where you could go into this place and buy stuff from Macy's, but it was a digital kiosk. It wasn't Macy's. It was another company that had these little pop-up digital shops places, and you could come and touch the items or whatever. And Macy's was thinking about putting some of their things in that place. But see, the thing with Macy's is they are a collection of everybody else's stuff. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Macy's doesn't make anything on their own, or they have everybody else's stuff in their store.
Right. They don't manufacture anything. They retail. They bring stuff in. They have buyers that go out and look for products.
Yes.
And so some of those some of those products are on Amazon.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You have to look at how people shop. How do they shop? I mean, okay, Macy's here on 34th Street. They get a lot of business because it's Midtown. It's 34th Street. It's busy. People are in that area going, okay, I need something. Macy's have it. Let me go in there. But if I'm way uptown, I'm not going to Macy's unless it's something I know that only Macy's have, because I have to figure out. Well, not figure out, but I have to, go down there and MetroCard and travel on the train and this, or take an Uber or whatever. I don't want to do that because I'm in my comfortable house with my big screen TV with my Netflix, and I got food coming by Uber, and I'm like, I don't really want to go down there.
And the other thing is that groceries could come into your house too. I was like, oh, I can grocery shop now. Don't have to leave the house and not figure out how I'm going to. Okay, I gotta go get groceries, and I'm like, oh no, just go in there, order the groceries that I want, and they could put it on a save, so I get the same groceries all the time, and they ship it within 2 hours. All of a sudden, everybody's doing
online
delivery, online shop. I see Target is doing it, Macy's.
2 hours. Everybody is doing 2 hours now.
Right.
So you know when it's coming. So you could.
It's coming. You can look right. You as a corporation, as a business, as Sears is 120. I looked up their 125-year-old brand. Pay attention to what's going on, because they have people that that's their job to look at the market. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what they're trending.
Or they're 80 years old. I'm sorry. There's old people at Sears.
Okay, so ladies, Pat has a dissertation over here. You might want to read it.
All right, let me see. Let's see.
He says there's so much shopping here in the Triangle area, and there's something for everyone. Bookstores are supposedly closing, but both Barnes and Nobles are always crowded. Sears isn't crowded, but Walmart and Target are full. Kmart is gone. Terry is saying specialty stores are in, but that depends on the person. Some specialty shops are doing great, but others go unnoticed. The important thing is stores need to connect with their customers, and there's enough to go around. Makes sense.
So if you're not connecting with your customer, maybe that's why your store is empty.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, now I see the comment. I didn't see it before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, she's right, but it's also your market, also where you live. Like, because I'm in New York City, so that kind of specialty shop, they do big business because, like I said, in Brooklyn, in that area, they have people that have moved in, and that's what they like. Mm-hmm. So that's what they like.
So they paid attention to the customer.
Yes,
and if you are talking to your customers, they are going to come back and give you more business, and they're going to tell other people because their experience with you is so outstanding. Oh, if you have got to go to Pity Pat Crafts and get your toys. I know they got them over there at so and so, but you need to go to Pity Pat Crafts to get your toys because she does this and she does that with the toys. They are They are specifically made so that they're kid friendly. There's no toxins in it. Da, 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 da. That's why somebody goes to a store over and above another store. The millennials and the Gen Zs, guess where they shop? Target. They don't even want to be near Walmart.
No. Well, here's the deal. You got to connect with your audience, because didn't we just see on the news that a football team is having their uniforms made out of some kind of recycled material because they're concerned about the sea and the animals in the sea, and so they're using the debris from
there's a big floating island of plastic that's like 2 miles wide that's killing sea life.
Stuff.
Right.
The uniforms, and then check this out, they're going to auction the uniforms to help save the sea or something.
Yeah.
You know,
correct. And that's, but somebody is paying attention to that. Some manufacturer needs, like, okay, we will manufacture their uniforms for them.
And from this problem, we're going to help you sort of market a solution. So now we're branded with that, and people will come to us because and check this out, we're buying recycled crap.
We are everything.
But that's what the Patagonia brand is based on. They from recycled, made from recycled material.
It's the circle of life.
And there are people that care about that kind of thing, so they will go out of their way to shop at a store like Patagonia than going to like Macy's. So I'm just saying that everything is specialty now. It may not be in smaller areas, but in larger metropolitan areas, it's all about specialty. You can go in New York. There's cupcake shops. They only sell cupcakes, but it's famous cupcake. Magnolia Bakery is one that I'm thinking of. There's a couple other uptown, but they only have specialty stuff, and people go there, line up for it. The tourists come. Like the cronut was a big thing a few years ago. The guy in the bakery down Lower East Side, I believe, he had a bakery that he would make these special. He made this special cronut donut frosting. It was so delicious, and he would only make them at a certain time during the day. He would get up early, so they would open up at like 6 a.m. or 3 a.m., 6 a.m. or something, and the line would be
around the block
for this cronut, and he was charging like five or six. It was like, I was like, come on, really?
Yeah.
But people wanted that experience.
But see, like when we went to Santa Monica, we went to Phil's Coffee. How long did we stand in line to get a cup of coffee?
But and it's coffee, right?
But it's not. Phil's is different. If you want a quick cup of coffee, you don't go to Phil's. Because Phil's, you go up, you put in the order with the barista, the same barista that you put the order in, makes your coffee, and then ask you what you want in it, and then and would you like mint and some other stuff?
Individualized.
It is very individualized.
Guess what that is? We talked about customer experience. They will buy, they will shop when you give them an experience that makes them feel special. That's making them feel special, because people would be like, there's coffee carts in New York. I could just get a cup of coffee, just regular old coffee in a little blue cup. But you might want to go to Starbucks, or you might want to go to the place, like you said, Phil's, because that is the experience, but you pay for it also. And
Phil's is a acquired taste, because if you're in a hurry, Phil's is not the place to go.
Right. That's an experience.
You go to Phil's if you want to watch your coffee drip.
Right. Because it drips, and they only have 2 sizes, and that's it.
Right. So that goes to a specific customer who wants that experience. And then you have, like I said, on the other hand, you have the Dunkin', you go to Dunkin', I just want coffee. Go to Dunkin' Donuts, or there's a coffee cart, and you get the little blue cup, and you go about your business because, you're busy going somewhere. But you go to Phil's for the experience, and you pay for the experience.
Right.
That's what it is. You have to figure out the market, the audience, what they want specifically, and give it to them. And you don't have to cheapen the price of it, because they are going to pay whatever it is you decide what it's worth, because they want that experience.
Exactly. We went to Sprinkles,
the donut place.
In Southern California, because you know, that's where all the stars go, and they got the machines, and people go at midnight to get a sprinkles done. So we saw the sprinkle shop. We were down in Disneyland, and we went in. And I'm trying to figure, because I want to know, Fran, what's so special about these cupcakes that people are paying $7 and $8 for a cupcake, okay? And so the cupcakes were in the little case. They looked pretty normal to me. So, but they boxed it. The presentation was off the chain, TJ.
Really?
Yes, and then they put a little seal on the box. So now we're outside, sitting on the bench, my daughters and I, breaking into these cupcakes, and it's like a reveal. We're filming it because it's like, you gotta unveil the cupcake.
But see how that works with social media ties into that great experience, because you're showing that you're joining that movement of let's show this cupcake, and then the people that don't know about it will see your delight in it.
When I spend $25 on 3 cupcakes, somebody's getting the movie.
You are filming that. Say, hey, look at this thing. I bought it. You guys look.
If I bought it, you got to watch it.
Right, you watch. But that's how it works. That's how it works.
And the cupcakes are good, but they just tasted like grandma from scratch. You could tell.
There you go.
Scratch. The ingredients, they had quality.
But see, the millennials don't have the grandma from scratch. They don't have, and the Gen Z, they don't. Grandma from scratch.
Grandma is not making cupcakes. I'm telling you. Okay.
So we know, but those guys, they're like, they don't know grandma cupcakes.
Exceptional, yeah.
Well,
you can tell the difference.
Well, ladies, it's the top of the hour. It's noon somewhere.
Noon here.
And we just want to say thank everybody for tuning in live. We've had Pat and Penelope and others that are dropped in. We want to thank everybody watching the replay. And whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, we just want to say thank you. We'll be here next week talking more tech and social media. Bring some questions that you have. Things are happening all over the place. TJ will keep us in line with what's going on in social media. And we're just going to come on back and hang out and talk tech again next week.
We got a conference tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, the Women's Business Conference. If you're in Sacramento, come on out and join us. I don't think we're doing anything live with it. We'll see about that. But definitely come on out. There's a panel. Some of our biz chicks are going to be on the panel. Missy Anderson. Who else is on that panel? Margie Fair, Danette McReynolds. Say again?
Penelope Larry.
Yeah, Penelope Larry. Yeah, she is going to be one of the keynote speakers for the event. Man, I totally forgot about that. So please, if you're in the area, come on out. You can still get a ticket in the morning. I think they've set aside a few tickets for people to get at the door. So come on out and join us. It's going to be great. If you're in New York City, you got to check in and say hi to TJ. And enjoy your weekend, people. Enjoy the weekend. Get some rest. Play with your tech over the weekend because there's some. Go learn something new on your phone that you didn't know because there is something.
There's a lot. Evidently changing too.
Yeah, there's a lot. Play with your tech. Play with your social media. Because if you don't, you just need to get better with whatever you have in hand.
Because it's not going. I hear all these stories about getting your kids off of their devices and stuff. I'm like, no, that's their future. That's what they're going to be doing. So they, I'm not saying they need to be on it all day, but don't take the attitude of they don't need to be on.
That is a skill. That's going to be a job skill. That's going to be
because I'll give you an example. Think about when video games first started coming out the end of the 80s or the mid 80s or whatever, and people were like, oh, that's good. The video games are going to rock the kids. Well, guess what? They're getting paid to play a game on Twitch and that stuff like that. They're getting paid to create games. So look at the creativity.
Well, not only that whole joystick thing translated into the military and into operating equipment
For drones.
Drones and.
So I'm just saying, think about, I remember that was like the whole news cycle was about, and people were talking about, well, these things are going to rot the kids' brains. Well, look at where we are now, drones and all that stuff like Terry said. So that's the future. That's their future. Not ours. It's theirs. So let them.
Well, it's ours too. We better.
It is, yeah.
Know how to operate it because I need my child to be able to get my Social Security check out the sky. Grab it, girl. Get that virtual check.
Just don't gripe and grumble about they should put it down. Okay, if you're having dinner, yes, put it down. But leave them to it. They're going to figure out what the market is going to be for that in the future.
Yep.
We love you.
Well, thank you, everybody. We will be back next week. So same time, same channel. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Bye-bye.
Bye.